I mean, we started cold. There was no planning involved in any other candidates. I mean, we were honestly in crisis management mode of keeping President Biden in the race. There really was no sort of contingency planning to turn the race over to her right after that debate or at any point until President Biden definitively said he wasn't going to continue on.
The brilliant minds behind Kamala Harris's presidential campaign are finally breaking their silence and telling all to Pod Save America. What went wrong? What did they do right? I'm gonna go ahead and say that for the hour-and-a-half long conversation, they were mostly focusing on what they think they got right. I'm not even kidding.
They ran a flawless campaign.
Flawless.
Did they talk about how they got Queen Latifah to endorse?
You know, she never endorses.
Well, and she did here, flawless.
Yeah, to be fair, it was Joyanne Reid who made that ridiculous point, not them. But they made plenty of ridiculous points during this conversation. So the individual you heard from in that video is Quentin Fulks. He's basically saying the quiet part out loud in regard to what the thinking was among Democratic operatives and Biden officials following his disastrous debate performance against Donald Trump. And it wasn't just disastrous because Biden performed poorly. It was disastrous because it became abundantly clear to everyone in the country that Biden's mental decline was far worse than what the Democratic Party was willing to inform us all about. And so this answer, it shocked me how candid Fulks was here. But listen to what the thinking was after the debate.
It seemed like a dropping out could be a possibility. Were you able to do any thinking or planning in that 1 month period about what a race with the vice president would look like? Or did you have to sort of start cold on that first day, the moment you got the call or the statement went out?
I mean, we started cold. There was no planning involved in any other candidates. I mean, we were honestly in crisis management mode of keeping President Biden in the race, convincing, Democratic allies that he could still do this. There really was no sort of contingency planning to turn the race over to her right after that debate or at any point until President Biden definitively said he wasn't going to continue on.
Do they not understand how unbelievably irresponsible it is to do everything you can to keep Biden in the race? Let's say, best case scenario for them, not for the country, but for them, Biden somehow ekes it out and wins a second term. Are we really okay with that?
Oh, Anna, come on. These people they're not good people. They would have been thrilled with that.
So if the
they would
presidency,
have wheeled him out in a wheelchair just like they did with Dianne Feinstein. In fact, they would have run the show more with a completely senile president.
Okay, then the presidency is just a joke.
And that's what they think.
That's what they think. That's literally what they think.
I'm sure Pod Save America challenged them on that.
Not really. No, there was no challenge on that, which is crazy. I can't believe he said that out loud. That's amazing to me. That was a confession. It's not amazing to them
at all. They think, of course, that we were hired by President Biden to lie to the American people and say that he's in great shape. But Anna, look, there's that part I'm not at all surprised by. And so what I'm more surprised by, even at this late date, is how no one in Democratic leadership can put together a plan. They're such imbeciles. So I'm sorry, but you're forcing me to say obvious things. So let's put aside the campaign team for a second. And they have the argument of, well, we were trying desperately to keep Biden in the race, even though we all knew he was going to lose. And we all knew that he was going to lose about 400 electoral college votes. We were handing the country over.
They did know all that, you're right.
We were handing the country over to Trump. We all knew it, we were okay with it as long as the goddamn check cleared. Okay, but I'm putting that aside. How about Kamala Harris? Everybody's like, oh, well, she only had 3 months to run a race. If I was vice president, do you have any idea how ready I would be with all of my plans for what I would do if I was president? First of all, you should be ready because you're a heartbeat away, and the guy's like 280 years old. So you don't know what you're gonna do when Biden steps down? And then the idea that Biden might step down was around for a year, and you didn't plan a goddamn thing? And we're supposed to say, oh, Kamala Harris is such a great leader. She ran a flawless campaign. Oh, by the way, she sat around in the White House for 4 years and had no idea what she would do if she was president. They came up with all those policies after Biden dropped out. I'm sorry, but Vice President Harris, did you have a single thought in your head about what you wanted to do, what you wanted to accomplish on behalf of the American people? And the answer is a resounding hell no. Hell no. She didn't even think about it for apparently 1 goddamn minute. And her planning here was atrocious. But I'm sure Pod Save America told them all that. Go ahead.
So in this conversation, you have the who's who of campaign officials, Jen O'Malley Dillon, David Plouffe, Quentin Fulks, who we just heard from, and also Stephanie Cutter. Now, with that in mind, you're gonna love this, Cenk, because one of the lessons learned, they did learn some lessons, okay? I'm sure you all saw the video that's gone viral of them claiming, well, the Democrats really need to capture moderates. That's the issue here. Let's put that aside, because of course, that's the lesson they always learn. But they also think that maybe they should have broken the laws a little bit like Trump does. Watch.
He had an army of super PACs that were so coordinated. I'm sure there's some legal way they were coordinated, but
I'm sure it was legal.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Or illegal.
We have to stop playing a different game as it relates to super PACs than the Republicans. Love our Democratic lawyers. I'm tired of it. Okay, they coordinate more than we do. I think amongst themselves, I think with the presidential campaign, I'm just sick and tired of it. Okay, to Stephanie's point, clearly it is not legal what they're doing, but we're at a disadvantage when our folks are playing by a different set of rules than they are. I just think at the end of the day, this is important. Again, this is not at the top of the reasons that we had a different outcome here. But, to win close races, you kind of want to be maximizing every piece of the arsenal. And so I think this is something we really have to reflect on and make some adjustments going forward.
Okay, I know that our campaign finance laws are a joke, but there are still some rules, there are some regulations, including the fact that the candidate's campaign is not supposed to coordinate with the super PACs. That is illegal. The argument here is Trump is obviously coordinating with the super PACs. That is illegal, and maybe we should do that too. That's the lesson. What are you gonna do? You're gonna break the law? That's the lesson you learned from the. That's the lesson you learned from this campaign.
No. These guys. That's what I'm saying, guys. Stop negotiating with dumbasses. Okay, so the lessons they learned are we should have gotten more involved with super PACs, not less involved. Yeah, why don't you go parade around your dumbass letter about 90 corporate CEOs love us. Hey, average Americans, we're with the rich, we're with the executives, we're with the people that you despise, morons. And they said, oh, okay, we're gonna get more moderate voters. Same thing I've always heard, Republicans in the suburbs. How'd that work out for you? Hillary Clinton got only 7 of them. Biden got 6% and Kamala Harris got 5%. Dumb strategy. So no, you're supposed to, those are Democratic consultants. These same morons will run the next campaign. They never get fired. They keep getting rehired and rehired and rehired. And so why? Because they don't care about winning. They care about donor money, give me more of it. I want to work more with super PACs. We didn't make enough money in this campaign. Yeah, you guys all made plenty of money. We're the ones who got screwed.
They did, but they didn't coordinate with the super PACs.
Oh, if they just coordinated better. If you coordinated with the super PACs, they would have told you to go more pro-corporate. Yeah. It would have led to worse losses. They're never gonna get us through their thick, dumb corporate heads. American people don't love corporate CEOs. They like the average guy. That's complicated for you to figure out. You idiots couldn't put two thoughts together, lost to Donald Trump. You should all be humiliated and never work in politics again. You're gonna hire losers like this that keep losing to Donald Trump. They told us he's the dumbest man in America, and then they lost to him twice. What does that make you?
Yeah. I mean, and I will just say, it was a lengthy conversation. It is always interesting to me what ends up going viral from long conversations like this. So the thing about how Democrats need to capture moderate voters was fascinating to me because, look, I do think there's some truth behind it when it comes to some policies, right? Like immigration policy or crime-related reforms, criminal justice reforms. But what they're referring to is not those policies, which clearly voters in states like California rejected and actually retaliated against. They're talking about the economic policies specifically. So when they talk about capturing moderates, they mean the corporate class, they mean the wealthy, they mean the affluent. But if you look at how the demographics split between Harris and Trump was able to capture voters who make $50,000 or less in their household income, whereas Harris did capture the affluent voters. She's the one who got the majority of voters who make $100,000 or more.
Congratulations, you got all the people that you like, super rich people. You guys are gonna be so happy in your cocktail parties now. So this is not why I'm persona non grata in DC. So let me make it absolutely clear. These people are idiots because they cannot get it through their head. Guys, you think you ran a flawless campaign because you're like, I don't get it. I took $1 billion from donors, and then I did exactly what we're all in Washington believe, which is you run anodyne, insipid ads that don't say anything about the candidate. You let them slaughter you on their hard-hitting ads, and you just go, oh, I love corporations and Cheneys. What? I did exactly what everybody in Washington says I should do. I ran a flawless campaign. Did it ever occur to you in your stupid dumb heads that maybe the people in Washington don't know what's a flawless campaign?
No, never. I don't
think
think
it ever occur to you that maybe corporate donors are what the freaking problem is instead of what the solution is? Did that ever occur to you in your infinite stupidity? No. But I don't get it. I took all the corporate money. That's the goddamn problem, you morons. Show me one actual voter in Pennsylvania, Michigan, or Wisconsin that says, oh, I love corporate CEOs. Can't get enough of them. But the real problem for Kamala Harris was she didn't tell me how much she loves corporate CEOs enough. I wish she worked more with super PACs. If she worked more with super PACs, I would have voted for her. Come on, Jesus Christ, man. If you look, with $1 billion, you couldn't even afford to buy a clue, apparently.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.